The movie's events kick off with Evelyn and her best friend hanging out in one of the bars in Las Vegas because they decided to spend the weekend together. But Evelyn sees someone trying to harass the waitress, so she stops him and defends her. Her mind gets all jumbled up when she spots a handsome young man and smiles as soon as she sees him. The next morning, Evelyn wakes up and finds herself asleep in the bathroom. The same handsome young man she saw at the bar last night is standing in front of her, trying to reassure her. But Evelyn is even more surprised when she sees a wedding ring on her finger. The same handsome young man, whose name she still doesn't know, jokes with her and tells her he can get her a ring that's smaller than the one she's wearing. Evelyn can't remember anything that happened last night and is completely shocked when the handsome young man tells her they got married yesterday. Then he leaves her to take a shower. After her shower, the handsome young man tells Evelyn he'll ask his lawyer to handle their divorce. Then he walks out, leaving her baffled about what just happened. Evelyn decides to go back to her city, Portland, but she's shocked by the presence of a bunch of journalists questioning her about the reality of her marriage to the artist David. This is where we, as the audience, get that the handsome young man Evelyn married without warning is the most famous singer in the whole country, and his name is David. Evelyn checks in with her best friend, who is surprised to find out she's been married for a month to the most handsome and famous young man in the country, and congratulates her on her marriage to him. People and all the media are talking about the marriage of the singer David, who broke all the girls' hearts with his charm. We go back to Evelyn, who notices the journalists in front of her house because they want to do an interview with her, while her dad is baffled by what's going on. David's personal bodyguard hands the phone to Evelyn because David wants to talk to her. He tells her that their divorce proceedings are going to take a lot of time and advises her to go to his place with his bodyguard to stay away from the press. Evelyn decides not to pass up the chance and gets in the car to go to David's house. But a bunch of David's fans attack her and tell her she's an ugly girl and that they don't get why David would be interested in her. Evelyn gets to David's house. He seems to be a friendly person, and she notices that he also has her name tattooed on his hand because Evelyn had found out she also got his name tattooed in a place on her body that we can't show you. David offers for Evelyn to stay with him in his house until the divorce proceedings are over and tells her she can do whatever she wants in her room. Later, Evelyn gets bored of staying in her room alone and decides to go downstairs, but she accidentally runs into David's brother Jimmy without knowing he's her husband David's brother. Jimmy tries to get to know Evelyn, but David shows up and threatens to cut off his hand if he ever gets close to her again. It seems that David is so jealous of Evelyn that he tells her not to leave her room. The next morning, a girl named Martha, who works with David in the band, tries to wake up Evelyn because the lawyers have arrived. Evelyn sits with the lawyers, who hand her the divorce papers and tell her not to talk about the details of her marriage in the media because she could face heavy penalties if she does. The unexpected surprise is that he offers her $10 million in exchange for not asking for any extra money or half of David's fortune, and tells her to disappear with her baby if she gets pregnant with David's kid. Evelyn rejects all of this and says she won't let anyone buy or sell her because she wants a divorce without asking for anything, since she couldn't care less about money. Then she leaves but runs into David's friend from the band, who notices she's crying, takes her to his place, and talks to her about David. He tells her that all the girls look up to him and advises her to get closer to him and get to know him better. David arrives at his friend's place looking for Evelyn, but his friend tells him exactly what happened and asks him why he wanted to divorce Evelyn when she seems like a nice girl. David tells him it was Evelyn who asked for the divorce and that he thought she was different from the other girls. It seems that Evelyn heard everything and appears in front of David and his friend, who tells her that he didn't know she was the one who asked for the divorce from David. David sees his name tattooed on Evelyn's body because the photo has gone viral on social media. Evelyn is sad that the photo of the tattoo, which is in a private area of her body, is being spread. She wonders why she married David in just one night. Then she goes on a road trip with him. He stops to buy some strawberries. He carries her and they go inside the house. David sits in front of the scenery and Evelyn sits next to him and asks him to tell her exactly what happened after he left the room on their wedding night. David tells her they talked and decided to take a big step in their lives. Then he tells her it's time to sleep. David tells Evelyn about his life, saying he came from a poor family and became rich after starting his band. Evelyn says that she also comes from a modest family, but that she studied architecture. The next morning, David gives Evelyn some expensive clothes, but Evelyn is surprised by their high price. Evelyn's head hits the wood, and she remembers what really happened between her and David before their marriage, where she tells him she remembered they were in the river and that David was pretending he didn't know how to swim. Suddenly, the doorbell rings, announcing the arrival of David's married friends, who have come to support David and check on him. David introduces Evelyn to his friends who work with him in the band. During dinner, we notice the looks of mutual affection and love between David and Evelyn. Then they enjoy their time together. That night, David tells Evelyn he doesn't plan on divorcing her, and it seems Evelyn feels the same way. The next day, David's friend's wife talks with Evelyn and tells her she has never seen David as happy as he is today. David's friend's wife takes Evelyn to the bar to have fun together, and she meets a man who tries to bother Evelyn. But David arrives at the right time and defends her, fighting with the man. But his friends pull him out of the bar because he's angry. Then he goes back home with Evelyn and asks her why she let that man get close to her and didn't tell him she was leaving the house. Evelyn replies to David by telling him she's not his property, and they have a friendly argument. Evelyn contacts her best friend, who tells her that everyone who follows David knows that his self-confidence has been shaky since he was young because he was shocked when his girlfriend cheated on him with his brother. From that moment on, David closed the door to love and focused only on his work. The next morning, David and Evelyn make pizza and get to know each other better. David gets an important call inviting him to travel to Los Angeles as soon as possible. After arriving, David finds Martha, who seems to not appreciate Evelyn's presence with David, who takes Evelyn to a private place in the theater to watch the musical number. The party starts and Evelyn sees David playing the guitar while Martha stands next to her and tells her that she has known David for a long time. Evelyn notices that Martha is wearing the same earring that David is wearing. Then she ignores it and goes to the bathroom, but Martha's brother stops her. Evelyn pushes the door hard and sees David in a compromising situation with Martha. David tries to explain the truth of what happened to Evelyn, who leaves the place with her bodyguard, heartbroken. And after a month, Evelyn returns to her job at the cafe, then goes out to have fun at a bar. But she's surprised to see David, who tries to catch up with her and tells her he couldn't contact her all this time because he was busy. Evelyn asks David to forget everything between them because he cheated on her with Martha. Then she leaves him and goes away. And the next day after she finishes work, David visits Evelyn again, who agrees to go with him to her place, but David takes her to a restaurant to eat the same pizza he had prepared with her at his house. Evelyn tells David that she doesn't trust him anymore and asks him not to try to get close to her. The next morning, the old David was waiting for Evelyn outside her work and trying every way to win back her love. He didn't want to be away from her and watched her for a few days until the day Evelyn felt that David would not leave her alone. Then she goes with him to the cafe, where David explains exactly what happened between him and Martha. David tells her he's known Martha for a long time because she's the one who started his band with him, and that they loved each other at one point, but they broke up. He confirms to her that she's the one who grabbed him in the bathroom. Then he takes off the earring he's wearing, the one that linked him to Martha, to express his love for Evelyn, who understands what happened and accepts his apology. At work, Evelyn is surprised by the arrival of Martha, who came to apologize to her and tells her she thought she could win back David's love for herself. But unfortunately, she didn't succeed because David is so in love with Evelyn that he has written 2 songs about her and bought a house in the same city where she lives to stay by her side. Evelyn visits David in the recording studio and tells him she heard he wrote songs about her and that he also bought a house in her city. David tells Evelyn he'll let her hear the song at the right time. And the next day, Evelyn gives David a wedding ring as a sign of her agreement to officially marry him. On the day of the party, David says he will sing a song for his dear beloved, whom he can't live without. And the movie ends with David singing his beautiful song while Evelyn enjoys the song, which is about their love. The movie ends here. If you dug the movie, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and drop a comment below. It really helps us out and gets the channel out there to more people. And make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new movies.